The hot story on television yesterday wasn't Paul Manafort being charged with witness tampering. It wasn't President Trump's claims that he could pardon himself. It wasn't anything to do with the Mueller investigation. It wasn't the president's latest swipe at his attorney general. It was, of course, Donald Trump disinviting the Philadelphia Eagles. And this took on, the culture war resonance of so many of the president's crusades. Now, he loves to beat up on the NFL because it is an offensive, shall we say. It very much plays to his base. He basically won that argument, even though a lot of people in the country feel like the president was unfairly criticizing particularly minority players for exercising their right to protest by kneeling during the national anthem. Most NFL fans like what the president had to say, to the point that the league changed the rules and said, you'll be fine, the team will be fine if that happens. But the odd thing about this is the Eagles, in this past season, the Super Bowl champions, there wasn't a single player who kneeled in protest during the national anthem. This was something the president tweeted. Unfortunately, only a small number of players decided to come. We canceled the event. Staying in the locker room for the playing of our national anthem is as disrespectful to our country as kneeling. Sorry. But the key sentence here is only a small number of players decided to come. So this thing was snakebit from the start. As soon as the Eagles won the Super Bowl, 3 of the top players said there's no way they would join for the traditional visit to the White House. Others started to drop out. And then the White House says that the team contacted the administration last Friday and said, could we reschedule this thing? Unfortunately, they wanted to reschedule it for when the president was going to be in Singapore, or otherwise out of the country. So what happened here is the president was throwing a party. He's a big football fan. He used to own a team in the old USFL. And most of the Eagles players and others were not going to come. And he wasn't having that. He didn't want the empty seats. So this, of course, started a war of words. The mayor of Philadelphia took a real whack at the president, saying he was a fragile egomaniac who's obsessed with crowd size. And some of the Eagles players also saying this had nothing to do with the anthem, and he's unfairly portraying them as being anti-military. So it becomes a big fight, a fight in which lots of people can participate. Now, I'm not saying the president called this audible so that he could change the subject from the Mueller investigation and other matters, but it is kind of a fringe benefit. And for a day at least, it dominated the news. It was big in Philadelphia. We're back to the culture war. I think that personally, I'm a little tired of this back and forth, but the president goes to this subject whenever he feels a need to pick a fight. In fairness, the Eagles picked the fight first. Most of the players who decided not to show up, it's their right, but they were kind of dissing the presidency. They could have come. Nobody was asking them to vouch for Donald Trump. They could have come and enjoy the honor that you get only when you win a national sports championship. And so plenty of blame to go around on both sides, but I think the president not that unhappy, for at least for a day at least, to have the subject turn to football.